Well, I grew up in Camino, about 2 miles from the Slab Creek, and I played there a lot as a kid. So probably, I don't know, maybe 100 days there in that canyon at the dam.
It's also a really kind of world-class piece of whitewater that people will come from all over to run, and I'm lucky enough to know people that run it for fun and be right down the street and have it be my backyard run.
I used to walk down there and go to swim, like that's where I learned to swim. So my first exposure was really just walking from the house to go learn how to swim.
But when I'm in there, there's nowhere else I'd rather be. Like, it's just happiness.
I have friends around here that have talked about Chamberlain Falls and about Giant Gap and stuff. Slab Creek was like not on my radar, and I'm really confused as to why that is, because it's a super awesome run.
Walking down to the river, which was always dewatered, there was never water in there. It was quiet, you could hear it when it flowed over the dam. We could hear if it was overflowing, which was really rare. You know, it's kind of like a giant fort. It was kind of like there was the dam, and there was all this old debris left over from maybe pre-dam times, and there was like really clear water. There was nobody down there. It felt infinite. Like if you went upstream, the dam was kind of boring because honestly the reservoir is just flat and there's not really anything going on up there. The hills, you know, it's just steep hills with Poison Oak. But below the dam where the river was like, you know, all these cool boulders and like places you could jump across the river because it's only flowing, I don't know, really low, 150 CFS all the time. And like just, yeah, pieces of old diversions and fish. And it just felt like a fort, like a giant playground.
We'd drive down there. It's one of the scariest roads you could go on, especially if you go up past the dam into the reservoir. It gets real narrow, barely wide enough for a car to fit through. At one point, I was told to drive it before I knew how to drive. I made it. That was scary though. Other explorations, we'd walk in the house. There's a creek that meets up with the road higher up, and we'd go down that creek. Catch crawdads, fish for the trout that were in it, make our way down, finding ways down the waterfalls. There's a couple of rapids in Slab Creek. There's a massive waterfall that comes down on the left, and we'd scale our way down that without any ropes or safety or anything. Just find our way down, grab onto the grass roots, and try not to fall.
I'm pretty amazed by that waterfall. It's a beautiful waterfall, and I feel really lucky that I get to see it because there's so few people that get to see it. I mean, you can walk down there, but it's not the same as floating by, getting near it, you know, putting your hand under the water.
The rapid with the waterfall, I forget what everyone calls it, but we went right over the middle of that and got thrown up in the air and sat back down on our seats. It was insane. We're just like, wow, that was crazy. And that was the beginning of the day. And then I honestly don't remember. I was super traumatized by it because it was so really above what I was capable of, but I was so inspired to go see that. So really, there was no information about Slab Creek. You couldn't really talk to anyone who'd ran it. You couldn't read about it. There was never water on it. But I was so into like just exploring the planet in a raft. And then I'm also into going to this place that meant a lot to me that we went. And we basically, I think we went over our heads. And we did it, like we succeeded. We lost some gear and we still tell the story. But in fact, I have a blanket in my house I found on shore when I was scouting. You know, it's a really memorable experience, really, you know, really memorable experience. And so I think I was really inspired to do that exact trip because I had so much connection to that space. I was really into the expeditional phase of my rafting life, and so I was going like all these other places I went as a expeditional boater. They developed meaning in that way only that way. I'd never been there before, so it's like, let's go run 49 to Bridgeport. I'd never been there, so all the meaning for that for me was in that rafting, in a raft. But going to Slab Creek was like, it was all these layers of meaning, and then seeing what it looked like with water. It's really, I guess honestly, it's had a profound effect on how I think about dewatered rivers, because I realized like how unnatural it is to have such a big riverbed without water.
Not being able to run Slab Creek, for me that would mean less of a chance to grow as a boater, and also the inability to appreciate one of the most beautiful sections of canyon in the area.
I'm really excited to do it again. Like, I want to know it well before I take someone down, and so that I can take them down successfully. But then I can invite my other friends, and they get to enjoy the scenery and the awesome rapids. Sometimes it's hard to find a river where you don't have that 7 miles of flat water in the middle of it. This is go, go, go.
On almost every one of those rapids, I don't think there was a rapid in there that I was like, this one's not that fun. It was like, they're all fun, which was really amazing. And like, you know, in a lot of those spots, there's enough time to collect yourself, but you're not going through any long flat water. It's just action, 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 action. I'm gonna go home and like text all my friends and be like, dude, Slab Creek's going tomorrow. Like, are you going down there? You should, because it's super fun.
So that's even when I'm just driving up to the put-in, I'm really attached to, like, it feels like I'm going home because my family lived there for 25 years. So I drove up that road, down that road, hundreds of thousands of times. And so to go up there to be doing something that's so special to me in a place that was already so meaningful to me is really fantastic.